Tom Holland, in a recent interview, revealed that he has already pitched what he believes would be a great idea for a fourth Spider-Man film. But not just one, it sounds like he's pitched two of them? He's probably unsure what's going on, just like everybody else. So this piece of info was discovered in a recent interview with Fandom, where Tom Holland was talking about what happens next with Spider-Man, the fourth outing for him in a standalone Spider-Man film, of course not including the Avengers films and so forth. And he talked a little bit about the MCU journey, how far Spider-Man has come, and some of the other things that are going on in the bigger Spider-Verse. Of course, Venom was brought up, Morbius, the Sinister Six, a proper MCU Spider-Man 4, more multiverse stories, across the Spider-Verse, just everything was a part of the conversation, if you will. Now, of course, what happens next remains to be seen, and I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit of time till we get full details on the future of Spider-Man in the MCU, outside of it, how they're going to handle all these moving pieces of the giant corporate puzzle. He did say that when he sat down to various different parties, and in this case he's talking about Sony, Amy Pascal, Tom Rothman, and those guys, that he also sat down with Marvel Studios and that he pitched Spider-Man 4 ideas. Now, what happens next will be interesting because you could go either way, you could go multiple ways, or you could do Spider-Man 4 both ways. Maybe both studios will do it. They're each individual take. One, he can face Kraven and Venom. The other one, he's in the MCU proper and he's just continuing to exist. You did a whole variant thing, which now everybody just buys. It's just commonplace now. Like, casuals talk about it like, you know, it's like Sunday brunch, because everybody's a nerd to some degree now and knows all this in the pop culture. It's not just us uber nerds anymore because it's become prominent everywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I do find it very telling that he's pitching Spider-Man 4 to both studios himself and the ideas, which again, I think to me, tells me that he's investing in his own future before anybody else. He wants to be Spider-Man, if the money is right. So, if it's a joint production, individual productions, or whatever, he wants to make sure he continues to suit up and nobody else. And the money's always on the table for whatever the future holds, so who knows what he'll agree with or what other people will agree with, but I'm pretty sure Spider-Man appearing in another Avengers film, money. Proper MCU Spider-Man 4 or Miles Morales film, money. Him vs. Venom, that's a bunch of money. Him vs. Kraven, there's money there. Him vs. Morbius. So yeah, there's plenty of money to be made when it comes to Spider-Man, and it's going to be interesting to see how they proceed with all of this, because another misstep could hurt the character, let's be real, or a public outlash by one of the sides. That could be damaging as well, because nobody wants to go through that again, because that was very terrible, and how they handled it was awful. So I suppose in due time we're going to know, but due time, and still, official wording on it, it's going to take years from now. So I guess until then, we got to rely on the scoopers.